Good day to you. We are here today for the second section of the working method of corporate managers. We are in the part 2. We are going to talk about the productive relationship, the commercial process, the basic principle of our actions, the collective intelligence, the self-identification, the growth of commercial competences, operating market, and what is a product, and a definition of corporate managers. We start with productive relationship. There are three major actors: the client, the bank, and the manager. This is the productive relationship. The three, they have distinct targets that they achieve by means of a productive relationship. A productive relationship is an organized process made by methods and techniques. And we will start seeing what is the process today and what it will be in prospect. The commercial process. The commercial process, it pursues the aim of productivity and profitability in the actions. It implies and constitutes the working method of the manager. The commercial process has two different kinds of approach. Portfolio management, that is like to work the woods, and relationship with single client, that is to work the tree. This is the portfolio management, meaning the customers which have been given to our corporate relationship manager. This is the single client, old or new client that he has got inside the portfolio. The commercial process, a portfolio management to work the woods phase. This is, as we said, the customer portfolio that has been given, assigned to the portfolio manager by the bank when they have established the SMEs lending unit. What does it mean? Focusing the targets, evaluating potentials and risk, planning the actions, stimulating contacts towards homogeneous group of clients. Each of these phases require a specific capital of knowledge and language. Now, a few words on this. When we saw that when the banks decide to establish a SMEs lending unit, each portfolio manager will be given a certain portfolio of customers. I think that the maximum number of customers should not exceed 50, and with this 50 we can be sure that he will be having enough time for following all of them. What the corporate manager should do in this phase is focusing which are the target of his action. And once the targets are known, concentrating on evaluating deeply which are the potentials and the risk involved in this target. Then planning his own actions and find means of stimulating contacts among homogeneous group of clients. This is important, as if we work on homogeneous group of clients, we are going to invest much less time than working on two different groups of clients. Phase B of the commercial process, relation with a single client. In which manner the corporate relation manager is interfering in this phase? First of all, by sale of credential, then sale of diagnostic quality, sale of benefits and product services, and last but not least, sale of maintenance. In this phase, our corporate relation manager is planning action towards a single client. First of all, he has to sell his own credential, meaning to be accepted, respected, and being seen as a provider of consultancies. Then he will be selling his capacity of understanding to make the diagnostics of the enterprise, to understand what are the entrepreneur's needs. Third, he will be proposing products and services to the entrepreneurs. And the last phase is the maintenance. Maintenance phase is very, very important. Probably is the most important together with the capacity of diagnostic. As once the customer has been achieved, when the customer has been buying the services, one of the most common mistake which is made by corporate relationship manager is to not keep enough in mind the maintenance phase. Maintenance phase is to go and check if the product we have been suggesting, the product and the services that have been bought by the customers are adequate, are enough, are suitable to the enterprise. A basic principle of our action is self-engagement, where self-engagement means to bring oneself into play, to take the initiative. This is an important way of doing banking nowadays. Not to stay in the branch and waiting for the customer, but putting themselves outside and taking the initiative of calling on the customer and making proposal, checking. Collective intelligence. A working environment is composed of persons who are different in terms of experience, responsibility, and function. They have values in common, something important that connects them. These values can be shared, varying from marginal minimum levels to substantial deep levels. What does it mean? It means that a bank is composed by division, a bank is composed by branch, there are different branch managers, there are different corporate relationship managers. If they aggregate themselves, if they do aggregate their own experience, everybody is getting compensated. They can share the value and becoming common values. The common values are really the strong part of the program. The bank should be capable to distribute common values, where common values can be also the targets, where the bank wants to go, where the banks what the bank wants to have, and which are the customer segment that they want to achieve. All these combines with the experience of individuals means the biggest asset of the bank. Nowadays, those managers who work on the basis of a resource system, get the best results in sales. A positive experience made by one corporate relationship manager in one area should be transferred, should be shared with his own colleagues, as these positive experience can be really the assets for additional benefits for the bank, and not only for the bank, but also for entrepreneurs. If you want to get further information on this topic, you can check easily the website. The personal elements in the selling activities is getting a larger and larger weight. Therefore, the greatest is the human coefficient expressed by the environment, the most easily it can affect the selling process. This is something that I want to underline. Human coefficient. The partnership between the corporate relationship manager and the entrepreneur of the small and medium-sized enterprise is and should be very much deep and human, where human means reciprocal respect, reciprocal understanding, and in some cases to be capable to speak a common language for being understood or for understanding. Self-identification. This is a creative technique which enlarges the possibility of selling ideas, selling targets, selling services, etc. This method is good to define market segments and sale targets. It helps to be in the same wavelength with the two guiding principles that describe any profession. Typical difficulties. Finding something out through self-identification is useful exercise. It allows to understand to a large extent the sphere of problem of the counterparty. This is not an easy exercise, honestly, as self-identification is not a common expression for a banker. In most of the cases, bankers, they feel they are only bankers, and they have not really to identify themselves with the needs or the language of entrepreneurs. So this is the much tough exercise to be capable to understand. Professional values. Observing them allows you to get in the language and in the system of values that support the profession. This is another untypical, tough exercise for many. To be capable to get in possess of certain vocabulary, certain language that is good for supporting the profession. Self-identification. What is self-identification? It is a creativity technique which enlarges the possibility of selling. This method is good to define market segments and sale targets. It helps to be in the same wavelength with the two guiding principles that describe any profession. Typical difficulties. Finding something out through self-identification is a useful exercise. It allows to understand to a large extent the sphere of problem of the counterparty. Where here counterparty is the customer. To understand the customer is the most important issue for a corporate relationship manager. Which are the professional values? Observing them allow you to get into the language and in the system of values that support the profession. This is very important. needs time, it needs dedication, it needs training. Growth of commercial competences. Okay, is a pyramidal process which starts from the acceptance of one's own role. Marketing culture, to know products and services, to know clients, to know competitors, to know how to sell and to establish relationship, to know how to plan one's own work, to know how to work to targets, and finally, to know entrepreneurship. This is an atypical way for bankers, as the bankers have firstly to accept the role, meaning that for too long time, bankers, branch manager especially, we are playing anybody roles, no distinction at all. Now that we are talking about a specific role, the corporate relationship manager, this role has to be accepted. Then bankers have to understand that they are working in a very competitive marketing, so they have to get a marketing culture. Then they have to develop a deep and better knowledge of the products and the services that they are selling. They should know their client's portfolio. They should know what the competitors are and what the competitors are offering. They should know how to sell and establish relationship. Establish relationship is a very important thing, as the capacity of creating feeling between a banker and an entrepreneur is not an easy exercise for everybody. Then they should know how to plan one's own work. You know, I say that what is important is team working, so somebody should be also in a position to organize also the works of somebody else. And last but not least, the new bankers, those which will be assigned to the role of corporate relationship manager, should know how to work to targets, as this is a must. Targets have to be identified and achieved. And last but not least, they should know entrepreneurship. They should understand that the entrepreneurship, they should be capable to self-identifying themselves inside an entrepreneurship. Where is going to lead us? This is going to lead us from a product-oriented to a market-oriented strategy. Product. What is product? To know how to make a good product, to make it as company wants it, to sell it on the market at the price that will give the desired margin. The result of this will be profit for the bank. I underline to make it as the company wants it. This is what really is the capacity of the product to be tailored on the entrepreneur's needs. Second, sale. To know how to make a product, to sell it on the market by means of pressing, sales, promotion, 3, 4, 2. And profit comes from all this. What does it mean to sell it on the market? Okay, sometimes, or better in most of the cases, products have to be promoted. They have to be pressed on the market. In some commercial issues is utilized propaganda like 3 for 2. In banking, this is not possible, but we can use cross-selling issues for promoting sales. Third, marketing, to identify an interesting target group, to analyze the needs of the target, told and untold, to organize all companies' resources to fill this need at one's best. Okay, now our target group are the SMEs and the entrepreneurs. Which are the needs we have seen already, and we have seen that the needs of entrepreneurs are basically those related to the company, but also those needs related to him or her as private individual. And what we should do is to organize all our resources to fill these needs at once and at best. This is what the customer wants from us. Operating marketing. Choosing as a technical function, sell to whom, how to organize resources, sell what, all in order to fill market needs at once. Sell how, best pursuing the profit. Now, I want to spend a few words on these three sentences. Sell to whom, sell what, and sell how. This is the core business of the corporate relationship manager. Sell to whom, we are talking now about the corporate relationship manager in charge of small and medium-sized enterprises, so it's quite easy to understand. But we have to explore which kind of SMEs. Micro, small, artisans, start-upper. He has to select which is the segment of customers he wants to have as a target. Sell what? I said before that it is important to know the products, to find out which are the most adequate for the customers. So he has to invest time in selecting the products which are more suitable to the segment of customer he has identified. Sell how. How it is another important issue. We have understood that it is no longer possible for a good corporate relationship manager to stay in the branch and waiting for the customer. So he has to make a program and find out his own ways for proposing the products to the customer, bringing the products to the customer. What is a product? The economist's definition of a product, it is basically for them a good or a service, object of economy, exchange on the market. From the marketing point of view, it is something able to fill a need, where need is a state of privation sensed by the individual. And we have to work on these. Which are the customer needs? What our entrepreneur needs? What is his sense of privation? What is looking for? What our bank, what we ourselves are in a position to bring to him. And this exercise to be capable to feel, to understand the needs is where the good corporate relationship manager should invest much more of his or her time. Corporate relation manager. Their professional profile from the marketing point of view. Professional who, with a business behavior, work to targets of monitoring risk, volumes, margins, markets quota, and image. And I will start with monitoring risk. What does it mean? We say that a good bank is a bank with a good quality portfolio of loans, which has been capable to select the good customers to whom has made loans. And this is one of the job and target given to the corporate relationship manager. He has to be capable to monitor the risk. Monitoring the risk means to go calling on the customer, checking his own activity, talking to the competitors of the customer for understanding how the market goes, how the enterprise is going. Volumes. Volumes are very important for the bank, as every bank wants to have a bigger quota of market, and quotas are evaluated on the basis of volumes. But we have not to forget margins, as volumes without margin doesn't make any sense, as profit gets out from margins. So the corporate relationship manager should be also capable to work on margin targets for increasing the profitability of the bank. Markets quota is a dependence from volume. A bank is measured on the basis of the market quota that has a market quota should be considered at national level, regional levels, and city, or by segmentation of customers. The market quotas on SMEs is very important, as we know that SMEs are representing a big portion of the market. So to know precisely which are the market quota we have to achieve will be giving us a target for future actions. Last but not least, image. Image. It is very important, the bank image, and it is very important how the corporate relationship manager is representing the bank. What image does of the bank when he's calling to the customer, when he's approaching the entrepreneurs, when he's sitting to the entrepreneurs. As for that entrepreneur at that precise moment, all the image of the bank will be the image of the entrepreneurship relation manager. They do it throughout a special attitude towards consultancy to the clients, interdisciplinary actions, professional self-development. This is very important as well, as we said sometimes earlier, that the corporate relationship manager should be a sort of partner. So he should be capable to be consultant to the clients. And for being consultant to the client, he should use interdisciplinary action. I give you just one example. Seeing that the customer needs some foreign exchange advice. If I will be bringing to him my colleague that is an expert in foreign exchange, I'm going to doing this interdisciplinary action, as I'm not using only the professionalism I have, but I am using the professionalism of a colleague of mine, team working. Professional self-development. Okay, apart from training, which is important and has to be provided, there is also the self-development. Self-development is the investment of time that each corporate relationship manager is making on himself or herself for developing his culture, his professionalism, his technical knowledge of products. And this is something that should come from inside. The bank cannot give to you. which are and what they take methods and instruments for. Okay, we say that one of the main tasks is to monitor the risk and analyzing the needs. And analyzing of needs and risk is probably the core job of corporate relationship manager. It starts with the needs, which means understanding the entrepreneur, understanding the enterprise, and then understanding also which are the risks for the bank if the bank is following that enterprise or is following that entrepreneur. Business planning. Business planning, it is important, as we say that it's no longer the time to listen to all the stories, to not to focus on specific targets. And this can be done only if I am capable to make my own business planning. My own business planning, which is how I will be capable to get the target, how I will be capable to make the analysis of needs, how I will be capable to monitor the risk. And this business planning, it is a matrix on which the corporate relationship manager should work daily, and it is the most important tool if we want to preserve the volume, the market quota, that are the other targets I have been given as corporate relationship manager of my bank. And also, business planning means to be capable to call on the customers, watching what the concurrence does in order to be capable to keep up the margins and at the same time not to have any market quota stolen.